Hey friends, just another day at the lake with my feet in the freezing sand because I feel electricity going through my body right now. Oh, the joys of awakening and God working on my body and doing things to me that honestly I just couldn't ever have imagined, not in a million years. But I accept, and I just faithfully just keep taking steps forward. Even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't understand, especially when I don't understand. This journey's crazy. But that wasn't the point of this message today. The point of the message today is I was walking over here and I was thinking about adversity in life, and through my channel and my stories that you guys have been maybe listening to and maybe not, you've heard a lot of my trials and tribulations, and there have been many big ones, a lot of small ones and a lot of big ones, recently. One of the first that I had to face was my son when he was 15 years old. This is my oldest son, Connor. He's such a fighter. He's a badass. He's a badass, and he's gonna do amazing things in this life, in this world, in this new world that we're entering right now. But at 15, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma cancer. Hardest day of my life. Definitely one of them, and probably the most. I mean, there have been some hard ones, so who knows, which one was the hardest. But getting that phone call, your whole body just stops working, stops thinking, and emotional. I was thinking back to that time period in my life, and it was at a period where I had just I don't know why I just tweaked out like that. Sometimes I just hear things. I don't know. But I was at a point in my life when I had this really big business partnership that I had formed, and I was a year and a half into it, and I was not vibing with it. The value was not flowing both ways. My team that I worked hard to put in place and I cared about deeply, they were suffering, and they were telling me that they were suffering, and it hurt my heart. And so I made the choice to end that partnership, and I got fucked through that process bad. The main guy that was leading the company, he didn't care. He just saw me as a means to an end, and the money that I had invested and the money that my company had brought to that partnership with no value reciprocation. Like, there's nothing that they did for me and my company that like justified me giving them any money. But contracts are contracts, and nothing I could do about it. But I terminated that contract, and I was just going through a period of life where, through that process, like, I was wounded. I was deeply wounded, and it was a wound that it hit hard and it hit deep, and I lost trust in people. And so I was just going through this like transformation at that point. It was the beginning of the end. It was a point where I lost trust in people, and I kind of lost faith in the world, the universe, maybe God. I don't think I was thinking about it in that context then, but I probably actually was. I was going to church a lot then. I was actively involved, even though it's another story. Churches and church structures never really connected with me all that well. They just didn't make sense to my brain. But I was going through this transition period, and it was hard. And then we got the news not too long after, and I was my wife and I at the time, we were talking about getting a divorce, and we'd been through counseling for years, and it wasn't meant to be. So it was beyond actually talking. It was like it was going to happen. We made the choice. Like a week before, we'd made the choice, and we're gonna probably tell the kids there shortly after, and then found out about Connor's cancer. And then her mom got ALS at the exact same time, passed away a year and a half later. Love you, Baba. My earth, she was an earth angel, and now she's one of my guardian angels, and I'm just not exaggerating that. She literally, I've seen her show up many times, and she helps me to avoid making decisions that will negatively affect my life, the trajectory of my life, and my purpose. And sometimes, we as humans, we just get in the way of our own purpose and what's best for us because of this brain, all of the conditioning and all that stuff. But we were hit with these major events, and what I was thinking about was Team in Training. Team in Training is a nonprofit organization that raises money for cancer research, and through us going through cancer, the cancer process and the healing process, and the people that we encountered through that journey, it was beautiful. Like, so many good people, and people that cared about us and cared about our family, and just wanted to help us feel a sense of, I don't know, peace through something that was super freaking difficult. But the reason I bring this up is because this sweatshirt that I'm wearing, after Connor rang that bell and was in remission, I was just I've always been passionate about helping the world. I don't know, causes, nonprofits, things. I see suffering in the world, and I'm like, hey, can I do something about that? And if I can, then I do my best to try to do it. So I can't remember if I found them, they found me, whatever it was, we found each other, and Team in Training. I think I was gonna plan on doing some sort of an event, maybe climb a mountain or something and raise money for cancer. And I'd only gotten about a month of the way into it. I'd raised $10,000 in the first 30 days. And this sweatshirt is what I received for raising $10,000. I love it. I didn't care about what they were going to give me. That's not why I did it. I just thought it was funny. It's like you raise $10,000 and then you get that. And I think at $5,000, you probably got like a water bottle or something. Just comical more than anything. Ooh, okay, never mind. But I was thinking about that, and then I went back to the beginning of it, because my brain just fast forwarded a lot, and I wasn't even planning on talking about that, but it just came to me. So what the hell, here we are. But what I was going to talk about is the angel part of life. And I've always felt like I had this guardian angel, and through this awakening process, God's told me that the Archangel Michael has been with me since the beginning. And there have been many points in my life that I have felt that, I've experienced it, and I've said, I have an angel on my shoulder. And I said that facetiously, and little did I know that it was actually true. But I, just little miracles. I was driving, Connor was with me, and I was scheduling a massage, and he just hadn't felt well for a long time, and that was the cancer. We didn't know that at the time, but he hadn't felt well, and he was just starting football. His body was super tired. He'd been working out a lot and had cancer in his body. So he said, hey, Dad, can I get a massage? I'm like, sure. I was on the phone with him. I'm like, hey, can you book an appointment for my son? So we booked the appointment. Maybe within the next week, he went in to the girl that I'd been seeing for maybe 2.5 years, something like that. And I loved her. She was just awesome. Great at deep tissue. And I wreck my body. I love exercise, I love fitness, and I love wrecking my body. It makes me feel good. It more than anything, it helps my brain, I think, because I can just push my body hard, and it does something to my brain. But um, we scheduled that appointment for him, and within the next week, he went in. He got the massage. My wife took him, and at the end of it, they left, and maybe a couple hours later, she got a call from the massage therapist, and she said, I really struggled with this, and I wasn't sure if I should call or if I shouldn't. But in the end, I decided to, and here I am. And I just wanted to let you know that I felt something in Connor's neck. And I have no idea what it is, but I just recommend that you get it checked out. And my wife's like, thank you so much for making this call. I can imagine that, like, maybe that was hard or whatever, but thank you. I appreciate it. We have a friend that's a doctor at Zoom Care, and we called her immediately, and she had a business colleague that had been in cancer pediatric care for 25 years, and she called him. She got us into him within 48 hours. It was like 48 hours later. Like, we were motivated. We heard something like that, and we're like, okay, game on. Like, let's go get this figured out now. I'm glad we did, because we got x-rays. We got the call later that evening or the next day, I can't remember. But we were at a team event for my real estate business. We were having a pizza party just to celebrate something or other. We got that call, and we jumped out to the parking lot and took the call, and he said, it's cancer. He said, I can't be 100%, but I've been doing this a long time, and I'm looking at the x-rays, and I would say that there's a 99% chance your son has cancer. That was the call. That was the day. That was hard. God has said that one of my superpowers is alchemizing pain into like life lessons, or into healing, into medicine. He says you can alchemize pain into medicine. And as I'm sitting here saying this, and I was thinking, that's beautiful. Seriously, that's where my brain goes with this whole thing. Yeah, it is, because we caught it at stage 2. It had just moved from his neck down to his chest. And if we would have waited another 6 months, another year, whatever, wouldn't have happened. I mean, who knows what would have happened, I guess I should say. My brain kind of just shut off for a minute. It's like, even thinking about this stuff still hurts sometimes. But there's like, just that whole experience was beautiful. Like, what are the odds that the one time Connor wants to get a massage, and like everything just lined up? And that just brings me to the point that God's got a plan. And now, knowing what I know, he's always had a plan for me, and it's to put me in experiences like that hard shit in my life, where he could teach me how to alchemize pain into medicine. I've been through so many traumas, so much pain in my life, so much isolation. Past 7 years have been hard. But it brought me to this point, and he's very specific in his plan for me. And it's using that pain that I've been through, that I've alchemized into medicine, to help people. To help people through this process, this awakening process. And they're going to see the pain in me, and I'm going to see the pain in them, and I'm going to feel what they feel. And I do. I have like an amount of empathy in me, and just whatever it's called. I feel people. I feel people, what they're feeling. I absorb it. So that's why I'm sitting here with my feet in the frozen freaking sand. And I just walked from the water, frozen water, through the ice, through the snow. To ground myself, because I absorb so much that it just, like, my body and the energy inside of me, it needs to circulate, and the earth is healing. The earth is healing. And I don't know if I can actually feel my feet at this point. I've been here for about an hour now. Been here for an hour. And they're pretty frozen, but like I don't even think about it. So I've regulated my body to a point where it's called the 0 point, where I don't know, I'm just so calm with almost everything at this point that I just look past it. I feel past it. And I just be in this moment, talking to you, hoping to make a difference for somebody out there that's going through this painful moment in their life and thinking, like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. How are we going to make it through this? And as hard as it is to even remotely think about this in this moment when you're going through that type of pain, because I know I wouldn't have in that moment either. But there's beauty in all of it, even in the painful moments that we have the potential or have the opportunity to alchemize into medicine for ourselves, for our kids, for our family, for whoever it is, for people. And we're just at a period of life right now where there's going to be a lot of confusion, and there already is. I just think that, excuse me, God's awakened the world. He's, I don't know, orchestrated the universe to start to crack our insides and make us feel things that we need to feel, to begin to make a choice on which side of the new world you want to be on. Because I know which side I want to be on. Like, I'm on God's side. But if you would have asked me 6 months ago which side I'm on, I would have said God. Like, who's God? He forgot about me a long time ago. I don't think he knows me. I don't know him. I don't know. I was at a low point in my life. But he brought me out of it, and he woke me up. And he came into my life and has showed me all of the pain that he's put me through. That's right. God, I've had moments where I was pissed. But he said, I needed you to go through all of that pain to strengthen you. I forged you in fire. I did it too. I've walked into this lake, this frozen lake, and forged my body in fire and ice. I needed to reset my nervous system, and that's one of the ways I did it. I did 3 cold plunges in a 30-day period, and I'd never done a cold plunge in my life. I never had considered doing a cold plunge. The thought of walking into a frozen lake was not appealing to me. Just like the thought of me putting my feet in this frozen sand next to the snow and putting my feet in the frozen lake, I just wouldn't have thought about it. It's not appealing. But it's necessary for our bodies to reconnect to the earth and to figure out how to regulate our nervous system. My nervous system was broken. It was broken bad. I couldn't breathe. And I'm not being sarcastic, like, or over exaggerating. I was talking to my friend last night about this. She's going through an awakening right now too. But I would catch myself all the time. I'd stop breathing. Like my body would just stop because I was in such a constant state of anxiety and stress. Squirrel. That I would catch myself like not breathing. I'd go, "What are you doing? Breathe." And I'd be like, but I would take such shallow breaths. I was just riddled with anxiety and a lot of stuff. Chronic freeze, toxic shame, emotional neglect, probably a lot of other things that I just haven't even dove into, but I was just living in the shadows of life, literally isolated myself away from all of society for 5 years. I had so much shame inside of me. I just didn't even want to have a conversation with people about, they'd be like, "Hey, Andy," and I was very visible in the community for many, many years. But the thought of running into somebody and them asking me like, "Hey, how you doing? What are you up to?" Like, I just didn't even want to go there. So I just didn't go, I just didn't go out into the world. I had outlets, but they were very isolated outlets. I never stopped going to the gym. I loved lifting weights. And it just is the only thing that made me feel good. And I believe this, it might be one of the only things that kept me alive for many years, for several of those years. Like if I just was isolated and not helping my body and my brain and connecting those two things and just isolated in my shitty ass apartment, I wouldn't have made it. So at least I had that drive, that inner desire to take care of my body. But let's circle back around to the initial plan because we're 22 minutes into this. God's got a plan. I don't try to understand it at this point, but He's got a plan for every single one of our lives. And I think you can look back at your past and look at all of the shit that you've gone through, and I look at mine. I had to look through all my shit. I had to uncover it. I had to, like, it was, let's just say it was in a box, and I opened the box and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of shit. And then I just pulled one piece of shit out and I just started, like, I don't know, poking around in it. That is disgusting. Why do my videos always come around to shit? Probably because like this stuff is so hard and heavy that's how I equate it. Like the trauma, it's like shit in our lives. But I don't know why I do that. It's so weird. But I had to understand it and I had to own it. I had to evaluate it. I had to get to the root of it. And then once I did all of that, I didn't own it anymore. I accepted it. I honored it for what it was. Thank you for teaching me the lessons that you taught me, because now I understand that it taught me a lesson. Going through that whole process of uncovering it and then poking around in it and understanding it, asking questions, and then releasing it. I had to do that with so many things, and it was hard. It's hard things, but God's got a plan, and He gave you those moments so you can do exactly what I just told you, and you can start to release it, and then release it from your body. And once you start to release the darkness and the shit from your body, God sees like a little crack. It's like, ooh, there's his heart. There's his heart. There's a little crack there. Like there was a lot of shit in there before, but now there's a little crack. And He's like, ooh, I think I'm just going to jump in. And He goes in and He shocks you. That's what He did to me. And I'm not the only person. Like what? I'm the only special person that God shocked my heart? No. This is available to you too. And this is one of the, like the word that comes into my mind is fallacy. I don't even know if that's the correct word, but whatever, you know what I'm talking about. In the world that we live in, is that churches have taught us that we need them to feel God, to find God, and that is not the truth. Jesus taught his disciples, he taught others that God is within each and every one of us. We don't need to go to church to feel God, to know God, or to understand God. All we have to do is live a life that allows space for him inside of our hearts. And when we do that, we'll know God. And so that's what he's told me to do now. He's like, you just went through that process, Andy. You just released all of the shit, all the darkness from your heart, and I showed you that once you'd released enough, I'm going to come in and I'm going to fill you up with my love. And he did. It was shocking. It was miraculous. I mean, what else is there to feel like that, to physically feel God come into your body, into your heart, and like shock your whole body? I can feel it right now, actually. I'm starting to. Because the Spirit lives in me now. Ever since that day, the, whatever you want to call it, Holy Spirit, that's what most people will know it as, has lived inside me since that day. And it tells me things like, I don't know, when I'm like feeling extreme gratitude, it just hits me in my heart and it goes, yes, that is exactly what we want from you. We want you to feel that gratitude for not only the good shit in our lives, but the struggles too. Because through the struggles come the beauty. And when you realize that and you embrace it and you understand it, you feel that gratitude through even the challenging circumstances in your life, God's gonna reward you, and he's gonna come into your heart and come into your life and start to change everything. As long as you have faith. As long as you embrace it, you have faith, and you start living your life that way. Continue to unpackage all the trauma and all the darkness in you and just keep letting it out. Things will start to line up in your life. It's crazy. It is. But it's real. And this world that we're living in right now, the turmoil that you're seeing out there, God's doing this very intentionally. He's forcing people to choose whether they want to live in the darkness, in the fear, or they want to embrace and accept his love. But you have to be willing to do the work. You have to like remove some of the static from your brain and your life and your body and your nervous system, because so many people are so wrapped up in the news cycle and like whatever the traumatic event is in the world, the war that's going on, or the cause that makes them like so crazy that they fixate over it. No, fixate over God and release that stuff from your life and your body, and he'll bring peace. He'll bring you peace. So God's got a plan. He's got a plan for each and every one of us. And I hope that this resonates with you, and that you felt a little bit of my pain and my struggle and in my story, and maybe it resonated with you. And you're like, this, I feel that. And that you make like one decision today to remove the static from your brain. Don't watch the news. Like, turn it off. Turn the TV off. Go for a walk. Go outside. Listen to the chipmunks. Chirp, 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 chirp. Put your feet on the cold ground. Yeah, my feet are freezing. But I still do it. But you have choices in your life, and I hope that you make the right choices. And above and beyond everything else, just be kind. Peace.